To obtain indestructible adamantium claws, Wolverine underwent a near-death experiment. Bound by iron chains and tree roots, he was submerged into a specialized liquid at the command of Major Stryker. Dozens of red-hot needles were driven into his body, followed by an injection of thousands of degrees of molten adamantium. As his body temperature and heart rate soared, Wolverine flashed back on his past. Finally, when his heart rate reached an astonishing 300 beats per minute, the experiment was halted. However, his EKG flatlined, leading everyone to believe he was dead. But then, Wolverine's heart started beating again. The overjoyed Major immediately ordered his memories erased. He had intended to turn Wolverine into a super soldier, but Wolverine overheard their conversation. Furious, Wolverine opened his eyes, forced his adamantium claws through the restraints, and roared as he broke free from the liquid. Zero immediately opened fire, but it was useless. Wolverine was now virtually indestructible, with an even more monstrous healing ability. Faced with a group of people surrounding him, he used his claws to quickly carve a path through them. With a few swipes, he easily tore open a 5-meter-high vent and escaped the lab by jumping down a waterfall. Wolverine then ran naked, hiding in the warehouse of an elderly couple. Seeing that Wolverine meant no harm, the old farmer kindly took him in. Wolverine expressed his gratitude to the couple, but he never imagined that he would bring death to his benefactors. The Colonel sent Zero to hunt down Wolverine, and a helicopter fired 2 missiles at the house. At the moment of the explosion, Wolverine leaped out of the fire, barely dodging the machine gun fire. However, an armored vehicle was in hot pursuit, and Zero's plane blocked his path. With nowhere to go, Wolverine shifted gears and began to wreak havoc. Wolverine leaped onto the armored vehicle and opened fire on the helicopter. Zero responded with a cannon shot, destroying the armored vehicle. Propelled by the force of the explosion, Wolverine soared into the air, severing the helicopter's rotor blades. The helicopter spiraled out of control and crashed. Zero was near death. Wolverine picked up the fallen radio and then ignited the gasoline on the ground with his claws, causing the helicopter to explode. His revenge had begun. Afterward, Wolverine found his old teammates, Wraith and Spot. Spot told Wolverine that the Colonel and Sabretooth were working together. For 6 years, they had been capturing the shopkeeper and imprisoning him on a hidden island for experiments, aiming to create a super soldier with a combination of different superpowers. To find the island, Wraith took Wolverine to a bar. A card-playing master was the only person who had escaped from the island, so he was the only one who knew its location. However, when the card player saw the tag on Wolverine's clothing, he assumed Wolverine was one of his captors. Without hesitation, he threw a red card at Wolverine with such force that it knocked him flying. Wolverine had barely gotten to his feet when he saw Wraith, already prepared for a fight. Old and new grievances collided as Wolverine, without hesitation, revealed his adamantium claws. Sabretooth lunged at Wolverine, but Wolverine countered with a quick move, piercing Sabretooth's palm and then his chest. The current Sabretooth was clearly no match for Wolverine. However, just as Wolverine was about to finish him off, the card player suddenly descended from above, striking both of them with a flying pole. Sabretooth took advantage of the chaos to escape, and Wolverine was about to give chase, but was stopped by the card player. Wolverine reluctantly sheathed his claws and gave the card player an international sign of disrespect. Then, with a single swipe, he cut the card player's iron pole in 2. Seeing that he couldn't defeat Wolverine, the card player transformed his pole into a climbing hook and decided to retreat. However, Wolverine chopped off the hook as soon as the card player landed. Then, as if cutting vegetables, Wolverine sliced through the stairs one by one, sending them crashing to the ground. Wolverine cornered the card player and told him to be wise and lead him to the island. However, when Wolverine confronted the Colonel was surprisingly calm. At that moment, Wolverine's deceased girlfriend, Kayla, mysteriously appeared. It turned out that everything was a trap set by the Colonel. He had deliberately placed the mutant Kayla beside Wolverine, and after their relationship had warmed up, he faked Kayla's death to plant the seeds of revenge in Wolverine, thus ensuring that Wolverine would willingly undergo the transformation experiment and become the Colonel's killing machine. However, Wolverine, after his transformation, managed to escape the lab despite having his memory wiped. Upon learning the truth, Wolverine was heartbroken, realizing that his beloved was a fake. He stormed out of the lab. What Wolverine didn't know was that Kayla was actually his younger sister, who had been kidnapped by the Colonel and held hostage. However, since she was no longer useful, the Colonel ordered Sabretooth to kill her, but all they heard was a scream, which made Wolverine uneasy. How could he simply stop loving someone he had cared for? He returned to the lab, assumed a fighting stance, and engaged Sabretooth in battle. The transformed Wolverine was invincible, and Sabretooth was quickly defeated. However, Wolverine didn't want to kill him, because he knew Sabretooth was merely being used by the Colonel. Wolverine then released all the mutants imprisoned there. Just as they were about to escape, the ultimate mutant appeared. Weapon 11. He possessed a combination of all superpowers, but his only weakness, his mouth, had been sealed shut. Wolverine told the others to retreat, while he stayed behind, to deal with Weapon 11. Wolverine immediately extended his adamantium claws, and Weapon 11 responded with 2 adamantium blades. They fought without hesitation. Weapon 11, having merged with multiple superpowers, including Wolverine's healing factor and the deadly dual-wielding skills of the Silver Samurai, was far superior to Wolverine. Wolverine had no choice but to climb up the giant chimney outside. However, to Wolverine's surprise, Weapon 11 also possessed Wraith's teleportation ability. Meanwhile, Kayla and the others were surrounded by countless mercenaries. During their escape, Kayla's sister, whose skin was exceptionally tough, used her electric powers to easily clear all obstacles. Just as everyone was about to leave the island, Kayla stayed behind. She wanted to be with Wolverine, as she knew her time was limited due to the gunshot wound to her abdomen. Wolverine was forced to engage in a difficult battle on the chimney. Despite his best efforts, he couldn't defeat Weapon 11, and was even pinned to the ground. Just as Weapon 11 was about to finish him off, Sabretooth arrived and rescued Wolverine. The brothers reconciled and fought side by side against their common enemy. However, they were no match for Weapon 11's relentless attacks. Weapon 11 even unleashed a laser beam, which Wolverine blocked with his claws while Sabretooth tried to sneak up from behind, only to be hit by a powerful blast. As Weapon 11 approached Sabretooth, Wolverine jumped and delivered a 45-degree kick, decapitating Weapon 11 and ending the fight. Afterwards, Wolverine found the injured Kayla and was about to carry him away when Stryker suddenly attacked him from behind. Enraged, Wolverine tried to run and kill Stryker, but was shot in the head. The bullet was made of adamantium, which could prevent Wolverine's healing ability. Not wanting to take any chances, Stryker fired another shot. Then he went to Kayla and was about to kill her, but Kayla used her powers to control him. Kayla could have killed Stryker, but she let him go, telling him to keep walking until he died. Soon, Wolverine woke up again, but he had lost all his memories. Looking at the dead Kayla, he couldn't remember who he was. In the end, he left the island alone. Meanwhile, the escaped shopkeeper encountered a bald man. Can you guess who this mysterious bald man is?